We look for a couple, when we're thinking in terms of placement of a child, a couple who really like children, who want to adopt a child for the child himself. We have certainly been confronted many times with many misconceptions around adoption. It does not cost anything to come to this agency to apply for the adoption of a child. We cannot charge a fee for adoption. The private agency does have a fee, but it is usually, as I understand it, on a sliding scale according to the income of the family. There certainly is one requirement which we are obliged to adhere to here at the agency. The New York state law does require that a child be placed with a family of his own religion where practicable. A couple of mixed religion, certainly this in itself would never be a deterrent to adoption in our agency here. We have heard many times, too, from our couples who come to us, as well as people in the community, that it takes a lot of money. It costs a lot of money. You must have a certain provision in your home for a child. We do not expect a family to have a large income or a reserve of money. One of the most important things is, I believe, that a family be a happy family and be really ready to take on a baby to enjoy that happiness with them.
I'm very glad you could get into the office today at the suggested appointment time. I hope it was convenient for you.
Fine.
I was wondering if you had, as you thought about adoption and thought about all that is involved in it, if you had found that you'd had any preference for a boy or a girl, or what age child that you would be most interested in.
No, it didn't make any difference, boy or girl. We'd like to have a baby if we could, you know, a young one.
I was wondering, as you've talked about, you say you have no preference, boy or girl, and you would like a baby, if there's anything else about a child that you, as you thought about having a child in your own home, anything else that you thought about in particular?
Well, really, as long as it's a healthy baby, that's the main thing. As far as we said, boy or girl, it wouldn't make any difference, because if we had our own, whichever it would be loved.
Have you talked with your families at all about adoption?
Well, not really. We hinted around, but we figured we'd look into it first to see how we progress. So we haven't really told.
I'm too excited about something, then maybe it, you know, if it didn't come off until we knew more about it and how it was going.
Have you gotten some ideas, though, as you've talked with them about how they would feel about adoption?
Well, I could tell by the way they're, you know, like, just by talking to them that they're all for it. You know, like they think adoption is a wonderful thing. So I don't think there'll be any trouble there.
And the choosing has begun. This is the beginning of months of talking and listening and waiting. The machinery of adoption starts slowly, with amiable questioning that almost disguises the uncompromising interrogation just below the surface.
One of the things that, preliminary point with us in starting with any couple is to explore if they have had any medical advice. And I was wondering if you have talked to your doctor at all about this, to reasons why you can or cannot have children of your own.
We've both been to the doctor, and he has done several things with me. There's nothing wrong with us, but still haven't been able to have any, so.
Has he recommended adoption for
He
you?
felt that it would be all right for us to go ahead.
Because one of the things that we would be looking for would be a report from your doctor.
Is there a certain length of time you should be married before you go into adoption? I mean, before they'd take you into
No, we don't have any. I think we realize that couples, particularly where there is no reason for childlessness, often will give themselves a few years And yet I did notice on the inquiry card that you haven't been married too long.
No, we didn't want to wait too long to have a family either. Of course, like I say, we felt that it might take quite a while to adopt a child, and we don't want to wait too long. We'd like to start our family now.
Another thing, if we would like to discuss a little bit further some of your thoughts about the background of the children for whom we're planning, some of the situations from which they come, and I was wondering if you'd done much thinking about this.
Well, we really didn't, because babies, when they're babies, they all look alike, whether, you know. So I don't know. We talked about it, but it didn't seem to make any difference if it was Irish, Italian, or whatever.
Well, actually, what I was thinking more was the biological background of the child, something about the natural parents, or even the situation from which the child might come.
We're, as far as intelligence like that is concerned, we're average intelligence. I mean, we certainly don't think we'd want a genius, because I don't think it would be from our family, to be truthful. But like I said, a boy or a girl, that doesn't make any difference. We'd be happy to have either. Of course, we'd like it to be healthy.
Of course they would. But of those children available for adoption, as in any large group of human beings, the ideal child is rare. The inventory, say, of perfect, blonde, blue-eyed infant girls is limited. And these are the quickly chosen. The others wait. Some until they are grown. Some wait forever. Some of the reasons are social, some are medical. They are all heartbreaking. Richard's blood does not clot correctly. To him, a simple injury could be a catastrophe. Frank is deaf. Carol is called a slow child. Jay's only handicap is his age. At 11, he is probably too old to be adopted. Robert's brothers had muscular dystrophy. He may have it too. No one knows. Agnes was born with a heart that doesn't work as it should. Perhaps a surgeon could repair it. Perhaps then, someday, she will be chosen. But now, Agnes waits with the others. The reason is easy to understand. If a mother bears a natural child with major medical difficulties, that is fate. To choose such a child in adoption requires an extraordinary parent. Understandably, most mothers who come to this agency feel that way.
I feel that if you had given birth to a child and it did have a major problem, it's quite different than actually going into adoption and adopting a child with a serious problem. I think when you think about adopting a child with a serious problem, you think about all it entails, the heartbreak, the care, the expenses. Of course, every woman prays for a normal child.
Fortunately for an adopted child named Bruce, his family has another view.
We adopted Brucey when he was 12 months old. We realized that he was a retarded child and slow, and that we would have a few problems with him. When he came to us, he had a spasmodic stomach, threw up constantly, was slightly cross-eyed, and had a very bad coordination problem. But today, with his will and determination to do what the other children have done, he now plays in Little League, he bowls, he plays football, he joins all activities which the other children in the community have done, and he is right up there in his class, in school, with all the other children. My husband and I both feel that a child who is handicapped should not be deprived of a home with loving care and understanding just because of a handicap. These children need love and require love as much as any other child, and they give it back to you just twice-fold.
There are medical problems in the blood and social problems in the pigmentation. Adoption caseworkers know that fact all too well.
For the Negro children in the community, resources are very limited. We feel that many of the Negro children are, in fact, we know these children are very adoptable youngsters. They're very bright, healthy, and appealing. It is unfortunate that we do not have more adoptive families who can take these children.
We have children who are of interracial parentage, and I wondered if this was something that you talked about or considered.
I don't think that the world is really ready for it yet. Perhaps in the future it could be done, but in the community where we live, I don't think it would be acceptable, and I doubt it would be fair to the child.